Hi, my name is Mark McDowell, CEO of Primal, and today I wanted to talk about budgets. So when you're in sales and you're selling, a common question, especially within B2B, is to figure out what the client's budget is. And there's a lot of different scenarios that business development or sales come across, and it's the whole budget question. Sales are trying to figure out what the budget is so that they can put together a proposal or a strategy based on that budget. And this is very common for agencies and branding agencies, is what's your budget? And they typically come across all kinds of answers. Is you'll get some clients on the end of the spectrum who know what their budget is and they tell you, and then you'll get clients that say, well, it's really open, but I want to see what you propose first before I determine what my budget is. And you may even get a scenario where just want a quotation to see how much it costs to use the services. So at the end of the day, in my experience, there's always a number that the client has in mind as to what they're willing to spend, even though their answer might be it's really open. It can go as high as millions, but it just really depends on what you're proposing. So that answer tells me that they're just exploring or just trying to see what it is that they're potentially buying, but they do have a number there. So how do we in sales extract that number as fast as possible? Because you don't want to be spending 1 week, 2 weeks being nice, being polite, and just working with this client for so long just to find out that their budget isn't high enough to afford the services that you're trying to sell, and all this time just gets wasted. So what I find works well is to be real, right? Especially if you're in sales or business development, is to find out enough information to know that they need your services and that you can help them, and then get to the point. Typically for our services, it's going to be within this ballpark or this particular range just to get started, or what we typically charge. And just throwing that out there right at the beginning, after you've figured out whether you can help them or not, and they need you, and you have enough information, you should get to the point. How much is it going to cost me to use you? And BD should ask where that particular range sits with that customer, and then the whole negotiation period starts. I say this because it's better to be real, honest, and upfront about how much things are going to cost or how much investment it's going to take, so that you help them save time and you save yourself time as well, so that you can quickly qualify particular customers quickly after you've got a certain amount of information to be able then to sell to them. So yeah, this is how I would suggest a salesperson to approach a particular client, and try to get to that answer as quickly as possible, because you'll save so much time in the future. So I thought I'd share that with you today. Thanks for listening.